Hello and welcome to this TIOmarkets webinar on NFP, non-farm payrolls. Why are we making a big deal out of non-farm payroll data? We wanted to highlight it. There's so many different pieces of economic data that come out, but we wanted to highlight it because it's probably the most important piece of data that comes out each month. It can move the market at an extreme more than any other data release. So we just wanted to give you a quick description of it, just give you a little bit of a background on it, when to expect it, and what you can expect within it. So as I said, this is the most watched economic data release probably in the financial world. It can affect the FX markets, the interest rate markets, commodities, equities. It's a very clear indicator of the health of the US economy through employment. It can cause significant gaps in the market, the FX markets and also equity markets following the release of the data, and can also cause a fair amount of sort of intraday volatility after the release, as well as the breakdown of the jobs is analyzed. Non-farm payroll is a compiled name really for goods, construction and manufacturing companies in the US. It's probably easy to tell you what it doesn't include. It does not include farm workers, as the name would suggest. It also does not include private household employees, people like gardeners and maids, etc. And it does not include not-for-profit organization employees either. Statistics from NFP show which sectors are generally generating the most employment additions. The list of sectors is fairly wide, but analysts will use that to sort of get a better picture of the economy, and obviously tell you which areas are doing particularly well and which are not. Those sectors can include, general business services, healthcare, financial activities, mining, construction, which is a very important one. Manufacturing, wholesale trade, retail trade, transportation, warehousing, information technology, and government employees, as well as those involved in the leisure and hospitality businesses. The report also contains some other data within it as well. It's not all just 100% focus on the number of jobs that were created during the prior month, and also the unemployment rate, but it can also show the length of the average work week, the average number of hours that people work during one particular week, their average hourly earnings, and wage growth. And those two last numbers have been particularly important in recent times, certainly as the US Federal Reserve has been looking for signs of inflation in the economy, and one of those signs certainly comes from wage growth. So that's something which the Federal Reserve themselves are always actually looking at. And worth bearing in mind as well that each month's report may include revisions to previous month's report. This is, you never know where there might be some issue with data collections due to, government shutdowns in the US. That can certainly happen, as we know. Adverse weather at certain times of the years can cause some problems with data collection. So just bear in mind that when you're looking at the headline numbers that come out, just keep half an eye on the revisions as well, because if they're significant, they can have as much of an impact on the market as the headline number themselves. So that's just a quick overview of the non-farm payroll data. Comes out the first Friday of every month. Just be aware of it. It's at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is New York time, for those of you not aware. And as I said, it is usually a market mover, so be ready and be prepared. Thank you, and good luck with your trading.